Hello, and welcome back to Trails in the Sky the Third. Last time we finished up Chloe's door, as well as did some other house cleaning things. But this time, we are going to do the door I was told to wait until after doing that door for. Bringing to me the playful minstrel and his closest ally against the beast they seek to overcome. Only then shall the door open. Yes. Yes, this obviously has to do with the Chancellor. No fighty, no fighty, no have set up, guys. I should grant you a memory fragment and my blessing. Okay. At this point, I sort of assume it's going to say that I have to overcome a challenge if it does have a challenge. 1 month after the collapse of the Liberl, the banquet to celebrate the crisis' successful resolution was over, and with Estelle and her friends have largely left the capital to go elsewhere. One of them, however, Prince Olivet Race Honor, sat rather comfortably in the ambassador's office in Grand Sal's Erebonian embassy, his work in the country not quite settled. I can't believe that I assume this is the ambassador. I mean, my deepest apologies for not noticing that you are His Highness Prince Oliver sooner. Possibly. Oh, yeah, probably, yeah. Oh, I'm not surprised you had never realized. I may be a prince, but my mother's a commoner. What point is there bothering to remember my face? It's not as though I often showed myself in the palace or attended high society gatherings. Knowing me certainly isn't going to help you moving up the ranks, my friends.
There's no need to be so humble, Your Highness.
Besides, I'm rather grateful to you, Ambassador. You gave me all kinds of useful advice during my stay at the embassy, and I'm sure it would be beneficial to me in the future. Well-meant words such as, act like a man in the Empire for once in your life, and stop idling here, go home and try doing some damned work.
Your Highness, I was only,
Your Highness, I think you've tormented him enough for one day. The ambassador behaved in the same way any other sane man would in his position. If anything, I'd say he has every right to be angry at us for keeping the truth from him for so long.
But, Mueller...
I suppose you're right. I'll spare any more teasing for now. I actually wasn't joking about being grateful to you, though. You've truly done admirable work over the past month.
I have? Well, that's news to me. Oh, wait, yes, I have.
Acting as a pipeline with the Empire, checking the safety of Erebonians residing in the Liberl, helping the international line of service to resume. And those are only the tip of the iceberg. You've done so much more. You have my deepest thanks as a prince of the Empire.
I'm not worthy of such praise, Your Highness. You, however, deserve the utmost for braving the danger you did flying up in the Liberl Ark. All of what happened seems to have caused quite the commotion in our homeland. So, the people may seem to be rather relieved now that they know the danger has passed. It's all thanks to your courage that they were able to rest easy.
Oh, there's no point in flattering me, Ambassador. I just did what I could, nothing more, nothing less. And I couldn't have done anything alone. All I was able to accomplish was thanks to the help of those around me. I'm fairly removed from the stereotype of Erebonians as stern, strong, and self-sufficient, if I do say so myself.
As rude as it may be to agree, perhaps you're correct. Yet I believe your willingness to be flexible most definitely helped rather than hindered you here. I believe people like you are exactly what the Empire is going to need in the future. Regardless of how I may feel about His Excellency the Chancellor's approach, Ambassador.
Well, this is a surprise. I was under the impression that you supported the Chancellor. Then again, you are noble. Does that lead you to oppose his reformist policies, perhaps?
I may be a noble on paper, but I'm only a baron. All in all, I generally fall in favor of his reformist policies. Be that as it may, well, this may just be a result of being in the barrel and being influenced by the way of its people. I do sometimes find myself becoming frightened by his hardline approach. I can't help but wonder exactly what direction he's trying to take our old nation.
Interesting.
Your Highness?
Oh, I was just thinking that I'm quite glad to have taken the chance to engage in such fruitful talk with you before departing the country. I pray that you continue doing all you can to ensure the peace of the Bear and its surrounding nations while I'm gone. Preferably in cooperation with Ambassador Crocane.
Yes, let's not forget her, I suppose. Still, it's true that since the non-aggression pact was signed, there has been some progress in regards with the crossbelt problem. Yes. Just wait until you hear about the solution. And given that it was Liberl that proposed said pacts, that makes my role in future negotiations very important indeed. I presume this is what you are trying to say.
You are a sharp one, my good man. Excellent. Now I can return to the capital with my mind at ease.
Leave everything to me here, Your Highness. I will be looking forward to hearing what you achieve back in our homeland.
This truly is a country like no other. I never thought the day would come when I would hear things like that from a noble of the Empire.
Indeed.
He's apparently somewhat less of an obstinate man than I thought he was. Perhaps this nation's very air has the power to genuinely change people. It seems to have an effect on you, however. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more smiles from you these days than I used to.
No, that's only because you're off with Estelle all the time. That means I don't have to deal with you so much. I'm loath to admit it, but that may well be true.
I still find myself wishing that you would learn from Liberlian's dignity and sense of restraint, however.
Two qualities you don't particularly possess in any measure. In fact, you have far too much of their opposites.
You say that, but these qualities are the only weapon that I have. I don't have much that will allow me to compete against the Chancellor. I need to use what little happens to be tucked in my corner as best I can. Have there been any changes to our plans?
None. We should be able to proceed as arranged. 3 days ago, the Chancellor left the capital on a tour of Eastern Erebonia.
Tomorrow, you'll be returning there aboard the Arsail, while he's still out in the east. Really? Right. They did mention that he returned on the Arsail. You know, whenever they talked about that, I always figured it was something more along the lines of, like, some great big dramatic thing happened and the Arsail happened to go to Erebonia at some point, even if it was, like, temporarily. So, all those who need to be made aware of our return have been given proper notice. Your arrival in Erebonia will make a real impact. Of that, I am certain. What potential obstructions to the plan are there at present? Nothing major. There have been some movements in the intelligence division's fourth subdivision, but not much. There's a chance that everyone is being cautious because the Arsail is involved. But I put greater odds on the idea that everyone is just treating this like a pompous performance by you, not taking it seriously. Well, they may be right to. It is. I have no choice but to start here, even if it means I have to use the bell. And if I'm going to put on a show, why not put on the finest one the skies have ever seen? I suppose I can't argue that. I'm sorry to trouble you all at this late hour, Your Highness. A message has arrived from you from Heimdall. What would you like me to do? Really? Alright, come in. Pardon me. Well, if it isn't Lecter. Perfect. We know we have a spy in our midst. Do we know he's connected? I was wondering where you'd been. I haven't seen you all day. I have been exceptionally busy with work this morning, I'm afraid. I'd hoped to be able to come and see you earlier, since you'll be leaving tomorrow. I'm terribly sorry for not being able to. Oh, never mind that. If that work of yours is done now, we three could always enjoy some more sensual quality time together for the remainder of the night. So, what was the message from the Capital Secretary? They've acknowledged receipt of His Highness's message. However, they didn't anticipate that you may be able to arrive all the way from Grand Cell in less than half a day. As such, they're currently in a minor panic, trying to ensure everything's ready for the ceremony tomorrow. That doesn't come so... There's nothing like the Arsail when it comes to speed at home. How cruel both of you are to so definitely ignore my proposal. Although, it does sound as though the stage will be set in time. Now I need to decide an outfit that'll leave everyone's jaws on the floor to sweeten my arrival. Perhaps a glistening coat and white loincloth will do the trick. That'd make a grand impact, alright. I almost wish I could go along and see it myself. Please don't encourage him. Oh, encourage him while you like, it would be hilarious. You show remarkable promise for someone so young. What do you say coming back on the Osea with me? I'd welcome your company. Your work in the Liberl is just about done as it is, isn't it? Your offer is certainly tempting, but I'm afraid I have another job to take care of soon. The thought is appreciated, of course. What are you doing in the barrel, Lecter? I wonder. I know that you were at the school, but you obviously... And maybe he's talking about going to Crossbell. Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's in the Crossbell games. So he's, like, relatively prominent in that. Just based on what they were talking about him, I think could see about him being over there. Really? Well, that is a shame. Good luck with that next job of yours. Thank you. Well, if you excuse me. So, Second Secretary Lecter Arndell. Is it safe to assume he's one of the Chancellors? Almost definitely, yes. He came through Hacken Gate on foot and took up his new position at the embassy a month ago. And right around the same time, we headed to the Liberl Arc aboard the Osea at that. There's no way that could possibly be a coincidence. No, it couldn't. I feel like their name was based on the Blood and Iron Chancellor nickname. I'm not remembering it though. That typically ends up happening in these sort of things. The most likely possibility seems to be that he's part of the intelligence division. Are you sure not doing anything regarding him all this time was a good idea? Oh, absolutely. We needed some way to find out what the Chancellor was up to after all. We'll probably get some kind of reaction from the Chancellor through his reports at some point. Probably in about 2 weeks when the Chancellor's tour has finished. You'd planned that far ahead all along, hadn't you? Well, in that case, I'll be sure that we're ready. I'll be counting on you, love. Oh. Something the matter? Not really, just that the moon has come out. And what a beautiful full moon it is. You don't say. It's strange to think that this will be the last time we'll see the moon from here. Truth be told, I'm gonna miss it. Well, it looks like putting a smile on your face a little more often isn't the only thing the Liberl has done for you. It's opened your eyes up to life's natural beauty as well. But in all seriousness, we'll just have to do all we can to be able to come back and see it again one day. Well, we're both still alive. Indeed. Well, that's foreboding. Okay. The next morning, I figured that wasn't everything to it. I do have a vague memory of there being a scene in Cold Steel with Oliver holding a gun. And I don't remember. I think someone told me at some point that it had something to do with Trails the Third, so I'm assuming that's going to get covered in this. Your Majesty, Your Highness, I humbly thank you for you both for your generous hospitality during my stay in your fine kingdom. You're even gracious enough to humor my brazen request of escorting me back to Heimdall aboard the Osea. The debts I owe you will be repaid many times over in the future, rest assured of that. Oh, you need to think of this as anything we went out of our way for. Escorting an honored state guest back home is a matter of course. Particularly a guest whom we owe a great debt of gratitude to. If you ever have the opportunity, please do come back to the Liberl again in the future. I imagine Stone Josh will be back by then too. So I'll be able to give you a nice warm welcome. I'm already excited for my next visit. Have they left the country yet, by the way? They're busy getting ready to leave over in Roland at the moment, I believe. I'm planning to see them off when the time comes. I see. Incidentally, while the rooms of Hummel are currently sealed off, I'll do what I can on my end to ensure that they are allowed inside. Okay, they're headed there. First. Interesting. I know they're going after Ren, and I assume investigating any sign of Ouroboros leads they could find. Could I trouble you to pass that along to them? Certainly. Thank you very much, Your Highness. I'll think nothing of it. It's the least I could do after all they've done for me. I owe you a great deal too, Augustus. If not for your assistance, stopping that armored division from crossing into the Liberl wouldn't have been simple as it was. I could say the same to you. Still, as I'm sure you're aware, the outcome will have been well within the realm of possibility for the Chancellor. I doubt he was even surprised by the incident. Really? Most likely not. Arbonia has anything to gain from using that situation to occupy the Liberl. Certainly not to the extent that would be worth going out of the way to develop inefficient steam tanks. Okay. That's fair. That's relatively fair. The only reason I could see for him to doing what he did was a show of power to surrounding nations, a statement that even without overpowered Urbonia's army could still act. I indeed suspect that was his true aim all along. Which is fair, too. Goodness. So, you did notice. The global shutdown phenomenon was completely unknown to the rest of the continent. Perhaps it may never occur again, but there's always the chance it might, whether it's here or somewhere else entirely. I hear the Empire only built a relatively small number of those tanks in all, too. Certainly not enough to launch a full-scale invasion. By the sounds of it, they were just put together in Reinford's factories using parts intended for standard orbital tanks. But as it stands, the know-how to put together tanks like that only exists in the Empire. And in these unpredictable times, no other nation has the time or resources to try and develop extremely inefficient steam-powered weaponry. In a sense, because of what happened, the Imperial Army's effect as a deterrent is even greater than ever. I suppose that's true. I could imagine it being actually almost... I could almost imagine it being a better approach to not say, oh, okay, it's a better deterrent, but it could be something more along the lines. Now everyone's going to spend their time and resources developing a counter because deterrents and stuff. And if you do that, then you can get ahead on everything else too, which gives you an even bigger boon. If you waste people's time on something that's never gonna happen again, then again you just wasted your time on it too, but... yeah. He's using war as a diplomatic tool, and very effectively at that. None of this had ever even occurred to me. I have a long way to go before I'm fit to be the ruler of this country. Oh, don't beat yourself up too much about it. He's no ordinary foe to even the most hardened veterans. The Chancellor always seems to be thinking several steps ahead of the rest of the world. It's impressive no matter what we may think of his actual ideas. Flashbacks to Cold Steel 2. Flashbacks, Cold Steel 2. Oh, God. I'm quite the reckless fool to be trying to challenge him, if I do say so myself. Don't be silly, Your Highness. How can you say that with a smile on your face is utterly beyond me. You should focus on building yourself a strong foothold to begin with. I do hope you'll be careful. No matter what may occur, be sure not to lose sight of where you stand. Of course, Your Majesty. If I were to go and bring shame upon myself, I'd be wasting all the effort involved in escorting me back home. I'll be sure to take what you have said to heart. Excuse me, Your Majesty. Says... oh, her. Hilda? Whatever's the matter? Isn't often I see you so flustered. My apologies, Your Majesty. It's just that a guest for you arrived all of a sudden at the castle. Ordinarily, I would not have rushed in while you were meeting with the others, but the visit is so irregular that I thought you should all know at once. Regular? How so? It's the Chancellor, isn't it? It sounds like it's about time to take my leave, then. Actually, the visitor said that he'd like to greet you as well, and not just Her Majesty. What? Huh? Oh, just who is this visitor? Well, he introduced himself as Chancellor Gilead Osborne of the Arbonian Empire. How does he get to the palace and no one noticed him enter the country? Hey, Lecter. Yep. Okay, how do I mean, oh my goodness, his nose looks so much more... oh my. His nose looks so interesting. Okay, he has a really deep voice in Cold Steel, so...
oh, it's an honor to be granted a personal audience. I'm Gilead Osborne, representative of the Imperial government,
And his voice really does sound like someone's really trying to do a deep voice, too.
My apologies for the abrupt intrusion.
So you're Chancellor Osborne?
That is a pleasure to you again, Your Highness. It's been a year since we last met, has it not? I hope these passing months have seen you well.
Yes, a year sounds about right. Still, I hope you'll forgive me asking. Just what did prompt someone of your stature to appear at the castle without warning? I'd very much like to hear your side of the story.
My apologies, Your Highness. You see, these past few days I've been touring Eastern Erebonia on routine inspections. It's been going very smoothly, more so than I had initially anticipated. I had enough free time in my schedule to pay a court a visit.
Oh my, is that so?
Naturally, I would have preferred to come here while the crisis was still unfolding like you yourself did, Your Highness. Unfortunately, the confusion in Southern Erebonia was simply too pressing a matter, and I had no choice but to deal with that first. This was the first chance that presented itself to come here and meet directly with Her Majesty, so I acted with the utmost expediency. I hope you'll forgive my lack of proper decorum in failing to give advance notice of my arrival.
Does this make sense, at least? Regardless, please don't continue talking to me. No doubt you wish to offer your greetings to Her Majesty.
My thanks, Your Highness.
God, I'm probably doing... He does have a good deep voice. Like, it sounds like someone's trying to do a deep voice, but it does sound viable as someone's actual voice.
Well then, allow me to extend my heartfelt greetings to both of you, Queen Alicia and Princess Claudia. It's abundantly clear that the crisis that unfolded here was quite the ordeal for yourselves and your nation's people. You have my deepest sympathies for the hardships that you have endured, as well as my commendation for bringing the situation under control.
I thank you for your kind words, Your Excellency. If anything, we should be apologizing to you for the fact that the southern side of your nation was caught up in what should have been our problem. We should have been the ones going to you, rather than having you trouble yourself coming all the way to the bell. I beg you to accept our apologies together with our deepest thanks for coming here today.
I would never ask for apologies. I've heard what happened was the work of a shadowy organization stirring up trouble within your borders. Well, I meant well by sending a military force to aid you. I wouldn't have done something so careless had I known the truth of the matter. My actions were rash, foolish even, and I was rightfully reprimanded by His Imperial Majesty for them.
Oh my, he's lying his ass off.
Fortunately, His Highness the Prince was able to act without due haste to put right my misstep before even greater harm was done. I owe you a great debt of gratitude for that, Your Highness. And congratulations besides for your part in bringing an end to the crisis.
Oh, I did nothing out of the ordinary. I had a lot of help from Her Majesty, Your Highness, and Brigadier General Cassius right over there.
Right, you say?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Excellency. I'm Cassius Bright, Brigadier General in the Liberian Royal Army.
The pleasure is all mine, I assure you. Your name is rather well known even in the Empire. I didn't recognize you though, because that's apparently how we work.
Not as much as yours, known here in the Barrow, I would imagine. It's an honor to be able to speak with you in person. It certainly is a surprise to be able to, though, coming here on a whim. Can't have been easy for a man as busy as yourself. It sounds as though I may have underestimated how capable you truly are.
Not at all. I was greatly impressed to see the Royal Army's effectiveness in dealing with the tumults here. Your forces have proven powerful yet flexible, capable of dealing with emergencies ably and decisively. I might go so far as to say it embodies an ideal that the Imperial Army with its swollen ranks could never hope to realize.
That is true to an extent. I think that was like part of the point of the train system in like some of the intelligence division stuff, right? To be able to act quickly and decisively, even if the army as a whole couldn't do that. You flattered us, Your Excellency. For your part, I hear you're responsible for the establishment of the Imperial Army's famed intelligence division. Our army is in desperate need of a new one of its own, so I find myself quite envious.
It almost sounds as though the two of us each want what the other has.
So it does. May I ask, Your Excellency, what will you be doing now? For my part, I'm intending to leave the Barrow today, so I'm afraid I won't be around much longer. Oh, he's gonna come with us, isn't he? He's gonna try to steal the thunder of the arrival. To downplay it.
Yes, so I've been told. I believe you're intending to make your grand arrival in Heimdall aboard the famous Arsail.
I'm impressed you're already aware.
I almost wish I could return to Ereboni unvoided alongside you. But alas, I'm afraid I have other business demanding my attention after I'm finished here. I'll be leaving Liberl separately this afternoon.
That is a shame. I would very much have liked to invite you to this evening's banquet.
Please, you need not go through such troubles on my account. I feel as though I put you out enough just showing up unannounced as I did, to say nothing of dining with such esteemed company. Still, I do have some time before the airship I'll be leaving on is due to depart. That being the case, might I ask for a little of your time, Your Highness? I have a few things I'd like to discuss with you personally.
Heh. Wait. Chloe. Shit, did you... Did Chloe recognize him? Yet? Is that why she's so... I mean, I thought she was just flustered because of the Chancellor, but I forgot that Lecter is here. I mean, I noticed he was here, I just forgot about the connection between the two. Very well. I have some matters that I'd actually like to discuss personally with you as well.
What a fortuitous coincidence.
Allow me to have a room arranged for the two of you to have your discussion then. Yoda, if you would. Certainly, Your Majesty.
Chloe really didn't react to all that, eh? Okay. It's obvious that Her Majesty is quite the tea fancier, if this blend is anything to go by. The fragrance, the temperature, the taste. I'd be hard-pressed to find fault with any of it. I've always been more of a coffee man myself, but I've no doubt that I'd be content with a cup of this at my desk each morning.
As much as I agree with you, I don't believe we're here to talk about beverages. So, shall we get right to the point? What do you want to discuss with me?
I see your sojourn in Liberl has proven most fruitful.
Pardon?
When we last spoke, you struck me as a bright, flexible young man. And no doubt you still are. But now, I see in you a resilient inner strength girding those aspects. I'm sure His Majesty would be most delighted with your personal development.
Meanwhile, I see that you're the same fearless man I've always known you to be. More so, even. That crushing aura about you seems to have only grown with time. It's as if you feed on the resentment of those who live in the territories you annex.
Such harsh words, Your Highness. Personally, I prefer the term political unification. Annex can carry such negative connotations, you know. Since the end of the 100 Days War, our army hasn't committed a single act of aggression. All unifications have been entirely peaceful.
Oh, you're quite right about that. On the surface.
Oh?
But it is amazing how similar the annexation process is every single time it happens. It starts off with a small nation or independent state with a array of problems beyond repair. Those problems start to worsen, after which the Jaegers and other dangerous elements enter, plunging public disorder to an all-time low. I wonder if that's what he was trying to do with Liberl. I wonder. Desperate for a solution, the local government requests the help of the Imperial Army before they know it, they're part of the Empire. Yeah. So which means he was probably trying to... Yes, that makes so much sense. Interesting. That's not what happened to, oh, the place Crow is from. Shoot. I'm forgetting its name. Doesn't really matter that much. Exactly what its name was. That was much more financial. They started trade, and then they cut off the trade, and it made them desperate. And they were like, oh, maybe you can join us? This obviously is meant to, like, mirror what happened, what seemed to be happening in, Liberl.
Well, it's not as though I can deny what you're saying. Each instance does share certain commonalities. Still, it's to be expected, an inevitable consequence of the age of unchecked growth and progress in which we live. The Imperial Army simply acting in the Empire's best interest, helping to stabilize our neighbors for the good of the Empire.
It's understandable that they would. I do find myself rather curious as to why intelligence division members are going to such nations with such peculiar frequency. And before the problems I described worsen, no less.
I won't press as to where you came by such information, as curious as I am. But I will say this. At its most basic level, these actions are about risk management. It's because we've been acting to minimize such risks beforehand that the army has been able to successfully quell each problem in turn.
With the small price of earning the disdain of the people in those nations and an increased risk of terrorism in exchange. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. I remember the group of 4 terrorists. You know, you think about it a little bit, they're like, it was a terrorism group, but it was really only 4 people, wasn't it? Well, I suppose they had a bunch of people under them too, but it was okay. It was only 4 oh, you know, never mind. They had a number of like random grunts underneath them too. To tell you the truth, I'm rather astounded that you had the courage to come here to the Bell all on your own to begin with. After all, you've earned yourself the biggest target for terrorists in all of Albonia.
Your concern is touching, Your Highness. I would ask that you not trouble yourself with my safety. I employ some very skilled subordinates, tasked primarily with eliminating the risk of terrorist attacks against me.
Really now? Well, Lecter is one of those, I assume.
A rather peculiar fellow, isn't he? But a very useful one all the same. Working out the scheduling for this trip and taking all the necessary precautions to warn off terrorist threats were both his doing. And thanks to his commendable efforts, I can evolve the crossbow free from worries as soon as I finish my business here.
Crossbow?
Crossbow? Are you surprised? I'll be participating in a top-secret discussion with the representative of the Crossbow government. Recently, a large amount of the funding has been flowing into the country through the Republican channels, putting our allies on the defensive.
Interesting.
I'd always meant to visit at some point, and this seemed to be the perfect opportunity.
Are you out of your mind? Crossbow is full of enemies and different factions at each other's throats. I hear it's now even a hotbed for terrorists and criminal organizations because of the position as a buffer state. Does that really sound like a place that Erebonian chancellors should be going even on an unofficial visit?
I'm surprised to hear you advocating caution in the face of potential dangers, Your Highness. After all, it was you who flew into an ancient city, at great risk to your own safety, and returned unharmed after surveying it. Compared to such rousing risk-taking, my visit to Crossbow will be child's play. As I'm sure you're aware, you're regarded as something of a hero back in Erebonia now. To see a hero make a grand return befitting his newly minted legend. The war of the famous Arceo, no less. Naturally, our hero has also taken the time to ensure that every well-known newspaper and magazine are aware of his own coming too. I have no doubts at your triumphant arrival. We every bit as glorious as is played out in your imaginings, Your Highness. Do be sure to capitalize on this chance as best you can to build yourself a firm foothold. I expect great things from you, after all. I need you to raise my son up into a state of being relevant, of course.
Hey, Lecter.
Hey, see. Scree. Oh, I should have just did the Scree voice for Chancellor Osborne. Yes, I'm Chancellor Osborne now. I scree all the time.
Hey, buddy.
You haven't changed a bit, huh? Scree, scree, scree. Scree, scree, scree.
Really? Sounds like a ton to happen, huh? But it's nice to see you and your master doing alright.
Scree.
Lecter.
Yeah, I assume Chloe.
Oh, did he know I'm an Erebonian spy? Yay! Well, good to know you. Well. Good day to you, Your Highness. I pray I'm not causing any trouble by taking a tour of the castle like this. The view from the stairs certainly is beautiful, isn't it? What happened to you, Lecter? How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne? I'm sorry. I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. Are you perchance mistaking me for someone else? Your name is Lecter Arundel. You're the student council president at Genesis Royal Academy, which you attended before leaving suddenly 2 years ago. So no, I'm not mistaking you for someone else. But that's where you're wrong. Because my name is actually... Lect... God... My name is actually Lecterandol. Oh, God. I can certainly see how our names could be mixed up, however. They are scarily close. Still, I know. Please, just call me Lek. Don't try and joke around with me, Lecter. Do you have any idea how worried all of us were when you just disappeared without a word? You submitted your notes to leave the academy and they were never seen again. Even the otherwise calm Leo let out a cry of anger when he found out. All this paperwork left undone, and all Lucy could do was give a sad smile and say, "It's just like him," the whole time with tears in her eyes. Jill and Hans were heartbroken. So was I. And yet after all that time, you finally show yourself knowing full well that I'm here. And this is how you act by pretending you're someone else. Lecter! Sorry. No need for the scare, Claire. You're still taking things way too seriously. Looks like it'd take more than stepping as Crown Princess to change that part of you. Oh. But, you know, seeing you makes me feel kind of relieved. I always figured that if someone like you became Crown Princess, you'd have virtually no freedom to do anything other than work. But from all that's reached my ears, it sounds like you're actually doing it all right for yourself. You even made some great new friends after I left the academy, didn't you? Nice. I sure did. Nonetheless, it's thanks to you that I was able to change all that. You're the one who gave me the first push in the right direction. Yeah, this definitely would be very weird if I hadn't done the last one. I never got the chance to thank you properly after you left. But all this time, I've been grateful to you. Well, consider me honored. Do I get a kiss in return? You do not. I may feel respect towards you, but nothing romantic. Oh, shucks. Oh, that's a bummer. There's me all taken in by how pretty you'd become, wondering if this could be the start of something downright magical. And what happens instead? Oh, my dreams of romance and sweet smooches are crushed to nothing before they can even begin. I know you don't mean a word of that, you know. You're looking very sharp yourself, though. It's surprising to see. Every time I've seen you before today, it was in that heavily frayed uniform, worn in the most sloppy way imaginable. I think you'll find that I was merely making a fashion statement. That wasn't laziness or sloppishness. Every part of it was carefully calculated to consider the maximum effect. But the scary thing is, I actually believe you. You always seemed as if you cared for nothing but having fun and causing trouble, yet when it came down to it, you were wise beyond your years. And I finally seen part of the reason behind that today. I'll ask you again, Lecter. How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne like this? Just what happened to you between you submitting your notice to leave in the academy and now? I assume he was working for him already. Are we not going to get the answer? Oh, come on. Oh, we better come back and get the answer. God damn it. I just want to know if he was already working for him, really. Do you now? I have to admit, I never imagined that would be the case. On the contrary, I was expecting you to tell me to back off.
Oh, my dears forbid. What reason would I have to suggest such a thing? After all, in the end of the day, all positions are functionally the same.
I'm not sure I understand.
Do you not think so? Personally, I find it difficult to believe that you would not harvest some hatred towards Erebonian as this today. A grand empire clinging to the glories of a bygone era, ruled by the nobility and shackled by meaningless conventions. Am I wrong? People call me the Blood and Iron Chancellor, as though I hold the whole of Erebonia in the palm of my hand. But in reality, my position is far more tenuous. I have supporters and allies in the capital, certainly, but outside its wall, the nobility holds far more sway than any of them. And while it is true that I hold a great amount of power in the form of the Imperial Army, even then I only truly command around 70% of it. The remainder is loyal to the nobility, who also maintain their own private armies. With those factored in, my advantage shrinks substantially. So, you see, I'm still very much in the midst of a battle to truly exert control.
Which is why you're building railways all over the country to expand your area of influence. And you've been annexing new territory to that same end.
As I've long thought, you certainly understand me better than anyone else. That is why I'll say this once again. Work with me, Your Highness. With your support, our nation will be able to bring about real reform faster than ever. The noble faction, with the centuries of decadence, can be stopped before they even have the chance to unify against us. Surely, that's what you desire more than anything.
I think Oliver agrees with some of his concepts. Doesn't want to completely agree with it, but more than anything, he's against his methods. Let me just ask you a simple question, Chancellor. What connection do you have with Ouroboros?
I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I will say this, however. I'm a firm believer in using every resource at my disposal in the name of achieving reform. That's the way I believe in handling politics.
I see. Well, it certainly does seem as though we would see eye to eye in many ways. And that's all the more reason why I'm afraid I must refuse your offer.
Is that so? I can't honestly be surprised here.
Yes, I find it difficult to like the rather noble faction that exists in the Empire. Or perhaps you're right that hate is the more appropriate word. But my feelings of fear towards your method are far greater than my feelings of hatred towards the nobles. What you seem to be doing is trying to compel the Erebonians with a delusive utopia, to whip them into an enthusiastic frenzy. No doubt by successfully convincing the people the old god will fall into the metaphorical firestorm created. And yet by then, the gears will have already begun turning. There'll be no satisfying a roused populace with the first revolution. The storm will just keep growing larger, more ravenous, and engulfing anything and everything in its wake. You know this, don't you, Chancellor?
Of course. After all, that's what I intend to happen. It's the first stage of my reforms.
Oh, first stage?
I'd be more than happy to share more of the details with you if you would decide to work with me, Your Highness. In the meantime, I wish you well in strengthening your foothold back in the Empire. But of course, if that's your intention, you'll find it a necessity to work with those nobles you so despise.
You truly do see through everything, don't you?
Well, that sounds like the new bill. The airship should be arriving shortly.
So Oliver's solution to all this was to try to train up a new generation that could handle things better. I mean, I suppose we never really got a peek at everything else he was trying to be doing during the Cold Steel games. I wonder how much else he was trying to do other than the Academy stuff.
Which means it's time for me to take my leave, I'm afraid. I look forward to seeing you again in the capital in 2 weeks' time.
I take it the discussion is over then. What's wrong? You look awfully tired. Oh, nothing. I'm just feeling odd and new at what a monster I decided to pick a fight with. Oh, yay, good review. Oopsie, I think it's probably about time for the airship to arrive. I'm gonna have to stop you there and get going. What? See ya, Sig. Next time I see you, I'll bring you some Ereboni salami as a souvenir, okay?
Scream.
Wait! Are you planning to just disappear without telling me anything a second time? Oh no, he's doing it a second time. Okay, my bad. I thought you were saying, you told me it once, but now you need to tell me it again because we, were in a different scene when you told me. Oh, got an important question for you. Did you fall in love with someone while I was away? Hit the nail on the head, huh? Oh, that's so cute. First love, right? How'd that feel? Heart all aflutter one minute, and the world the next. Don't you dare start teasing me. But you're right, though. I did. He rejected me in this very spot not that long ago. Wait, you're joking, right? There's a coincidence I didn't see coming. I'm not so sure about that. It feels like you know everything sometimes. I'm not some kind of all-knowing, all-seeing divinity. That's what makes the world so interesting to me. Oh. I'm happy for you, Chloe. Knowing the pain of lost love is what makes a girl blossom, in my humble opinion. Do you feel like the whole experience let you get a step closer to the person you want to be? Well, what about you? Do you feel you're getting closer to becoming the person that you want to be? By being at the Chancellor's side? Kinda hard to do that when I don't have a person I want to be to begin with. I'm just sticking with him because it feels like it'd be fun, that's all. I've been doing it since before I joined the Academy, in fact. You have? Okay, we got that answer. That's really what I cared about. That prince is proving surprisingly capable, but he still doesn't match with the Chancellor. Tell him to watch his back, alright? So that he doesn't get swallowed up by that monster after he gets tired of dancing. Goodbye, Lecter. Bye-bye. May you maybe meet again. This is a long one, isn't it? Thank you all for waiting. The Calabria International Liner bound for the Principality of Remiferia will be departing momentarily. Please mind your footing when boarding. Remiferia? I thought you were going to Crossbow. Maybe they're stopping in Crossbow? I don't know. I also don't know where the Principality of Remiferia is. They've mentioned it a few times. I assume the Arceo's on the other side of the camera. Now that I think about it. Boop. Boop. Okay, you can take off now. So that was the Blood and Iron Chancellor? I can't believe he actually went out of his way to use a civilian airship when he probably has a private one of his own. I'd heard rumors about how out of the ordinary he is, but he lives up to all of them. He keeps me on my toes, to put it playfully enough. I'm Sai, thanks for coming all this way to see me off, Shah. I was lucky I just happened to have business here at the right time. It feels like this is going to be the last chance we get to see one another in a while, after all. Rather unfortunate, as my dream is and always was to live away my days in the lap of luxury surrounded by women as beautiful as you. Well, good luck with that. Changing the subject, though, who was the young man by the Chancellor's side? He didn't strike me as your ordinary guy. Oh, you could tell. But of course, I'd say I'm used to running into people who are out of the ordinary at this point, but we sure fought enough of them. His name's Elector Arundel. He's a secretary who was sent here by the Imperial government. Apparently, he was the one who planned out all the details of the Chancellor's visit to Liberl. I can't pretend to know much regarding his background, but he's exceptionally skilled at what he does. Actually, I know a little. What? Oh? Is that true? Yes. Fully explained. Also explained. Unbelievable. Then, someone connected to the Chancellor had visited Liberl first. Then he's very likely to have his own veritable information network established here long before I even came up with the idea. I think it's safe for us to assume that's the case. Which also means that it's safe to assume he knows every detail about what's happened here since. From the coup d'etat to the crisis involving the Oriole, all of it. This man gets more unbelievable by the minute. He actually gave me a message to pass on to you earlier, too. Watch your back so that you don't get swallowed up by that monster when you get tired of dancing. He sure knows how to sting where it hurts, doesn't he? I feel like I can see a whole new world of pleasure opening up before my eyes. And it doesn't involve Cher's whip. He should know better. Getting outdone at every turn. Like this really is not my style. What do you mean? Captain Swars, I have a little favor I'd like to ask for when we're in the air. So if he's not coming back in the Oriole with him, then assassination time? I'm rather impressed by how Prince Olivert has come along. No matter how he chooses to act from here on, he will have his uses to be certain. You'd say that, given that you think of everyone as your pawns. There's me, the prince, the society.
Indeed. And I am much the same. We have put pawns on the vast game board that is the Empire, where a thrill like no other takes place. But it's because you, too, wish to see how that game plays out that you've chosen to stand with me. Is that not true?
Well, hey, what can I say? Just don't forget that this beast right here may not be loyal forever.
And such a betrayal would be perfectly fine by me. Or do you honestly think I'd never considered the possibility it may happen?
Just thought I'd come out and say it. How the other Ironbloods doing? There it is, Ironbloods! That was the name! Yes, that's it! How the other Ironbloods doing, by the way?
They're all doing very well by the sound of it. At the rate things are going, there's a chance all the prince's efforts will be for naught. Perhaps I ought to hold back on him a little.
How right he is. Ah, shouldn't pull any punches, do you? You know something? I wouldn't write him off so easily if I were in your shoes.
What?
What? Oh, you actually caught him by surprise for once. Oh my goodness, it stayed together. He did his craft. Oh, that's what the gun thing probably was about. Okay, I was so
These look like
rose petals. I was so expecting something more like actually dangerous happening because of the. If you look at the window on the right hand of the side of the airship, you'll be able to see the famous high-speed cruiser that I sail. We informed that it's on its way to the Imperial capital with Prince Oliver of the Airborne Empire on board. He's also given some messages to relay to all the passengers on board today. I give thanks to Idios for the good fortune to have been able to meet you today. May your journey be filled with the beautiful roses and her blessing. And of course, may your journey to your homes be a safe and pleasant one. That marks the end of his message. You're lucky they were out on the, outside of the ship, weren't you, Oliver? Or else that wouldn't have worked in the slightest. Yeah, Oliver really is a lot about spectacle at times, isn't he? I never thought there was a bigger dumbass in this world than me. Yeah, we are. Damn.
Ah, very well, debaucherous prince. I look forward to seeing what you can do. Show me how long you can hold out against me.
Side story, Return to the Empire. Finished. Okay, okay. Divine Eyes, 7,000 mirror. Okay. Very interesting. The whole, like, gun thing that I remember... remember being brought up very... what do you want to go? Briefly. During, Cold Steel, when it was just like that shot of it. And in like any of the Let's Plays, I might have watched Cold Steel since then. Obviously I chose ones that they were blind to the sky stuff as well, when I did do that, but with that in mind. I do remember it being like a gun thing, and him looking happy doing it didn't seem like it would be something so benign, I suppose. Trivial, ultimately. Okay. God, I always keep forgetting about this mouse thing. I need to... Because it disappears when I start using the controller. And I always forget that it's up there, and I'm still not entirely sure about the trends of how it shows up. I think it might just be like, if I leave it in place and I don't touch it from the beginning of the recording and stuff like that. So it probably isn't a problem at the moment, but you never know until you look at the recording. Because it doesn't... It's not like the thing that shows up in the recording ends up in there. Okay, so I looked at, okay, something that I'm actually trying to do to just time these episodes. I'm looking up, like, YouTubing, like, oh, Trails so-and-so door number so-and-so, and looking at the general length of it. Like, that was expected to be 40 minutes or so, just based on looking at them quickly, and obviously me talking through it makes things longer. This one's expected to be 16 to 20 minutes, so I said I'd do a longer episode, so bring to the man who talks with the fist, only then shall the door open. Yep. Zintan. This one should finish off the episode well enough lengthwise, so yeah. Luckily, it doesn't seem like there's anything resembling spoilers, just looking up the length of them via like a YouTube video. I shall grant you a memory fragment and my blessing. I see. Yes, I am never going to give myself a normal voice, ever. I sort of expected it would only be a matter of time before you return to the Republic, but your mind is made up then. Afraid so. I've made the guys over there take care of everything without me long enough. Call it an A-rank brace's duty to his peers in society, I guess. Well, I suppose when you put it that way. I do wish you could stay here a while longer, but if that's your decision, I'll respect it. So, when are you planning on returning? Well, there's no point in lingering here any longer than I have to now that I made up my mind to leave. So honestly, I was thinking about tomorrow. I think I could ask you to arrange a ticket to Calvert for me. Oh, certainly. Are you not planning to go and visit Keelikal first, then? I would have thought that you'd want to. That was part of the original plan. But she wouldn't have any of it. Surprise, surprise. Your stance was, if you're going to waste time coming to see me, you just go back to Calvert earlier and get some work done. Very well then. That doesn't sound like a vision you'll be able to talk her out of. It's no big deal, though. I mean, it's not like we'll never see each other again. Don't say that. I suppose that's very true. I'm not sure there's any in Zemuria that could keep you two apart forever. Right, they did mention that she ended up leaving the country to do some stuff somewhere, right? I feel like they mentioned that at some point. Probably something in Calvert. Yeah, I'm not remembering. Feels like that to me sometimes, too. Well, regardless, I won't keep you any longer. So that's one ticket to Calvert for tomorrow. Got me right on. Sorry, let me just get this. Yes, this is the Grand Sub branch of the Bracer Guild. Ah, yes. He's here as we speak, actually. Zin? Something up. It's Ambassador Croquet at the Calvardian Embassy. She'd like to invite you to the Hot Springs trip. What? Just fucking, like, hot spring tricks with that lady. Oh my goodness, I don't want to see her naked. Please, don't make me do this. 2 days later, but you have to do this. It is required. It's... Oh my goodness. Okay. Are we gonna get all the Calvert foreshadowing in this one? Like we got the Erebonian in the last one? This place sure brings back memories. The atmosphere is so relaxing. Oh yeah, invited you. Okay, I didn't even recognize that as her from Yen. It certainly is. Maybe because it feels so similar to our hometown. Well, Ambassador Crocrane had me going for a while. When I first heard about this whole trip, I thought it was just gonna be the two of us out here. Oh my. You look almost disappointed that it isn't. I'd be very happy to take my leave if I'm getting in the way of your dream date with her. I'm good, thanks. She's not someone I'd ever see as a potential partner. Besides, it's you she wants to talk to, not me. This meeting might as well not be happening if you're not here. It never takes much to put you on the defensive, does it? Is it just beyond you to just play along a little? You can't just help but mess with people, can you? With you in charge of the Zeiss Guild, I'm amazed it still has any bracers left. Correction, I can't help but mess with you. I don't do this with anyone else. Would you be happy if that were true? Oh no. You've arrived. I've been waiting for you. Hey, Ambassador. Thank you for inviting us here today. Is something the matter, Zin? You seem oddly flustered. Me? I'm fine, you're imagining things. Who could blame him, Ambassador? No, doll, he's a man on a hot spring ship with two beautiful women. That's hardly a recipe for calm and composed mind, is it? Knock it off, Keelikal. I suppose not. If I were a little younger, I doubt I would be able to keep my hands off him myself. Alright. I suppose that's enough joking around. We should get our dinner. Mrs. Mao is going to be making tonight's food herself by the sounds of it. The serious discussion can wait until after that.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Great.
Likewise.
If this was an episode by itself, the episode would be Zen Gets Bullied, Part 1. So there's going to be a new intelligence agency helping Halford. Yes, that's a new trend, isn't it?
That's right. It's to be known as the Rocksmith Agency.
I can say the name rings a bell, so it hasn't really come up in any of the stuff that I think I've done. And it doesn't ring a bell at all, surprisingly.
As the name suggests, it's going to be an organization that answers directly to the president.
Really now?
I see. I presume that is so the Parliament can't have any influence over its operations. Correct. Perhaps the new agency's biggest advantage is that it's separate from all those issues and vices. The last thing we need is an organization like this suffering from Parliament's failures to make prompt decisions or general ineptitude, are being run in the same opaque and shady manner by a privileged few.
Yeah, that does sound like a good idea, Min. We're never going to be able to compare to the Empire's Intelligence Division or the Barrow's Old One if the Parliament's all involved.
What? It's already quite difficult enough to get anything done in a nation with such a lack of unity.
I guess that's just the fate of countries that have taken immigrants by the truckload, though.
I suppose.
Though honestly, I think the thing that surprises me the most is the president's actually being proactive for once. He's always struck me as a real conservative.
You know, Rocksmith, is that his name? Huh.
So, you know, it might sound familiar as a name, not as an organization name, though, like a person's name. He's always struck me as a real conservative type. This isn't the kind of thing I thought he'd go for.
That's sad, given the state of the Republic right now. It's hardly surprising that he would choose to act this way. Outside the country, we've got the threats of a rapidly expanding air-bounding empire, while within we have terrorists and extremists.
So is the idea that you're going to be recruiting Keelika to be part of this? I feel like that might be the case.
And to make matters worse, we have the enigmatic society on the loose. Evidently, something has to be done. I think he knows all too well, that as well as anyone. Indeed. In the times ahead of us, we're going to need to be able to respond flexibly to a variety of new and unforeseen threats. Alright, I think my introduction to the matter has gone on long enough. It's about time I get to the point.
Oh, yeah, you've got something you need to specifically talk to Keelika about, right?
So, what position in the agency are you here to offer me?
Obviously. What?
I love a sharp mind, Keelika. Your instincts are, of course, dead on. We think your talents will make you perfectly suited to joining the agency, and are eager for you to be a part of it. That's why you'll be offered a position of Division Chief, should he decide to join. And that's something President Rocksmith has proposed himself.
Division Chief, how high up is that? I guess just a division. It depends how everything's organized. Wow. What led you to being the one to bring this to Keelika, anyways?
A fair question, I suppose. Ordinarily, this would have been a scout's work. But I've known the president on a personal level for quite some time now. So he took it upon himself to come ask me, to ask me to come ask you personally.
That makes sense.
Then what's his reason for wanting me? Surely you know without asking. How do you want to hear it said anyways? Naturally, your masterclass title skills are one reason for you being selected by the president. But of all, he wants you for your exceptional analytical information handling abilities you've shown in your position in the guild. Those are just what the new agency is going to require for us to succeed.
Well, I can't say this doesn't all make sense to me. I'm more dumbfounded that you'd up and attempt to steal a capable member of the guild right in front of an active racer like this. That takes some nerve.
Well, I do think rather highly of you. I thought you'd maybe be able to mediate without letting such trivial matters cloud your judgment. So, what do you think, Keelika? I'm not asking for an answer immediately, but I would like to know what's going on through your mind. Well, it's certainly an interesting proposal. At the same time, I'm not sure I have any reason to accept it. But you have no reason to refuse it either. Am I right? Well, it's rare that you find it difficult to make quick judgments, but with such a big decision to make, I can't very well fault you. I won't rush you. Take a night to think long and hard about it. It was so, you could do so that I booked a room here tonight. Thought this through, haven't you? I'll ask for your answer again tomorrow. I'm looking forward to hearing it. Of course. Oh, and one more thing before I depart. If you ask me, remaining in a position as a simple guild receptionist just isn't going to let you use your abilities to the fullest. There aren't, like, higher places in the guild. I mean, it sounds like there are, like, international organization, like, organizing stuff, but it seems like most things are run locally, so it's not like there's a whole lot of ways for her to go up to use those skills either. Well, a pleasant night to you both. The other upside to taking the position is that she'd be able to influence how the organization's handled. I'd actually feel a lot better if Keithago was one of the main people in charge of such an organization, in terms of its integrity. Well, it's rather fast. Have you finished in the bath already? Ah, seriously? I was in there for an hour. Oh. Man, it's not often that I see you looking this deep in thought. I suppose you don't. I feel like I'm one step away from making a decision, but just need one last push to take it. Oh, right. Which means that's my job, right? Still, being here like this with you really takes me back. I have to believe it's been 6 years now since Master Ryuga's passing. Sounds like you went on a hell of a journey between then and joining the guild too. You said that. Going on the journey makes it sound like something I did deliberately, though. In reality, it wasn't quite as organized as all that. I simply drifted from place to place before, ending up being drawn towards the one point where I settled. Watching the way, a leaf that fell from a tree ends up floating down a river. Were you able to find the answer you mentioned a while back? No, I still haven't. Still, I do feel as though I found a conclusion of sorts. What's that supposed to mean? Say, Sin, why do you think I chose to take a non-combat position like a guild receptionist to begin with? Because you didn't want to follow the same path as idiots like me and Walter. I wouldn't follow us either if I were in your shoes. That's quite. Although I'm not going to deny that the two of you are idiots. Hey! That was the one part I did want you to deny. I want to find out the meaning of the Living Fist ideology my father advocated. I still believe that being able to better oneself through combat while your opponent does the same is a good thing in itself. As a warrior, it's probably close to the ideal way. Still, I couldn't help but wonder why the ideology had to be based around the premise of fighting. I can certainly understand the significance of living and dying as a warrior. I can also understand how one who lived that way would have no regrets when the time to pass away came. Nothing has changed within me in that regard since the days we trained together. Yet with the father dead and Walter gone, I couldn't help but wonder whether there was some other way to make use of the Living Fist without having to fight. That's when I started roaming the continent in search of one. And as I roamed, I found myself face to face with countless conflicts and acts of violence, and I felt powerless every time I did. That's how I came to encounter the Bears Guild. I had arrived to quell one of those conflicts. Something about the ideology, putting the safety of civilians above all else, made me feel that perhaps working under them might give me an answer. Right, but doesn't Calvert have guilds too? Do they not do that? So that's what led me to start working for the guild. But even then, I wasn't able to run away from fighting completely. The nature of humanity means that as long as we exist, conflict will never cease. Instead, what's important is not blindly preaching idealism, but preaching ideals while keeping a firm eye on the reality of how to quell conflict. Master Ryuga's words have never left me. Nor have they left me. It's all the same. I've been looking away from reality all this time. Come on now. You know full well that's not actually true. When he says reality, he's not saying fighting is the be-all, end-all of quelling conflict. That's not what I'm trying to say. All these years, I haven't been trying to walk on my own 2 feet, not at all. I've just been trying to find a new way to live by Father's Living Fist ideology as an excuse to stand still. All the while indulging myself in the comfortable environment the guild gave me. In that sense, I must be the biggest failure of Father's students. I might not agree with the path Walter took, but he, like you, He's chosen his own path and started walking forward towards it, along it. You two have been facing up to the living fist idea of fathers, and started reaching your own conclusions on it. In your own ways, you've been able to face up to reality. And I haven't. I've been standing still this whole time.
That's the biggest load of crock I've ever heard. You've been walking for it just like we have.
In what way?
It's just that the path you've been walking has been one for others rather than yourself.
That river you think you've been helplessly drifting through?
You've actually been building a bridge so others can easily cross it behind you. When the road is hard, you soften the ground, so your fellow guild mates have an easier trek. There's no shame in your way of the living fist. It's as true as mine and Walter's.
Are you trying to comfort me?
Sorry for not having a way with words. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is this, you know. As a person, you're way too strong and way too serious. You should be more like Lecter.
At times like this. And at times, it's like those two things just end up restricting you and stop you from seeing things you could otherwise could.
So, try and relax a little, right?
Just a little. If you do, I bet you start seeing things you couldn't before. Say, Zin.
What is it?
Would you be happy if I returned to Calvin?
You need a little push?
What brought this on? It doesn't matter, just answer the question.
Okay.
Vine's pick, I guess you'd rather be back home.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason. Did she say I would be happy? I thought she was asking if...
Okay, sorry, I might have read that wrong.
Oh, no reason. Let's decide I'm going to accept the president's proposal.
What? Just because of what I said?
Don't misunderstand me. All I want was some kind of reason to bring this journey to an end. As well as a place to make better use of my skills.
Okay.
Okay. That was the best night's sleep I've had in some time. Oh, what? You weren't stressing out about it at all? Damn. I hope the two of you enjoyed your stay as well.
I know I did.
I'm feeling really refreshed, thank you. Refreshed enough to feel ready to take on a new position in a new environment, even. Then, I'd like to accept your offer. However, I have one condition for doing so. Oh, name it. While I'm waiting to join the President's new agency, I'm not willing to stop living in line with my own beliefs. As such, if I should end up feeling the slightest doubt about how the agency stuff is being run, I'll do everything in my power to correct it from the inside using any means at my disposal. If he still wants my membership after hearing as much, please tell him that I accept his offer. Oh, that won't be a problem at all. I think he will be encouraging you to take the reins. I believe he chose you expecting you to fill that role should it be deemed necessary. After all, you have experience in the guild, an organization which has managed to remain neutral, independent at all this time. That's no mean feat. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Also, I need to get things ready for my successor, so I won't have to be able to return to Calvert for 2 or 3 months. As such, I won't be able to start work till then. That's perfectly understandable. Well, I look forward to meeting you again in the Republic. Likewise. Is something on your mind? Oh, I was just thinking about what we said back there. You said you need 2 or 3 months to get everything ready for your successor, right? Yes, I did. What's of it? Well, I'm guessing it's pretty busy over in Calvert right now, too. It doesn't sound as though there's anything so urgent I need to be there now. So I was thinking maybe I could just stay here for the next few months while I get things sorted out before I head back. You can't be serious. There's no reason why you should stay around here in the bear with me. Go back to Calvert. You don't have to be so cold. It's me, you know. Well, it's the truth. We'll end up spending enough time together whether we like it or not after I'm home. You don't need to go out of your way to make more now. Well... You win. There's no need to rush things. Zin, what are you standing there for? Oh, sorry. You'd say that before starting to walk off on your own, though. Okay. I guess, Calvert Games, whenever they happen, we'll be seeing a bit of Keeligha on soon, I imagine. Especially Keeligha. She's going to basically be the representative of this new intelligence division that they're making. Yin Yang. Ooh, I like Yin Yang. Yin Yang is good. I remember Yin Yang, it was good. Okay. I'm going to head back, and probably before next time I'll spend some time to just set up everyone off screen. Instead of, like, recording 20-30 minutes of me doing that. But yeah, the plan as of now is to go with Richard, Ren, Oliver, Kevin. That is the plan. So, with that in mind, I will see you all. Oh yeah, I'm still going to do the other moon door too. But I'm probably between... Okay, maybe I won't set them up right away. Either way, I'm going to do the other moon door. So I will see you all next time. Drive safely, everyone. Yeah, that does sound like a good idea, Min. We're never going to be able to compare to the empires that... We're never going to be able to... We're never going to be able... We're never going to be able... Oh my fucking goodness. I need to, like, put this in the end of the episode before... Words! We're never going to be able to compare to the Empire's intelligence division or the Barrow's old one if the Parliament's all involved.